I regard the theater as the greatest of all art forms, the most immediate way in which a human being can share with another the sense of what it is to be a human being. That's an Oscar Wilde quote. Oscar Wilde was one of the greatest playwrights of the modern day, and it's interesting to think that he would be considered of the modern day because he died over 100 years ago. But that's just the thing, and that's what I'd like to talk about today, is the history of theater dates back way into the ancient times. And it's changed a lot, but there are still very many similarities today. The purpose of my speech is to inform the audience of a very brief history on theater and how these changes are present. I believe I'm qualified to make this speech because I will use my own personal experiences and the contrast of today's theater versus ancient history and theater as a vehicle to better inform the audience. The ancient history of theater began very differently than we consider theater to be today. It began with passion plays in ancient Egypt, and according to Glencoe.com, a theater history website, these passion plays were annual rituals that celebrated a certain king that did good things for them, and this went on for a few centuries. This is how plays were. They were meant to tell stories. We use history books today, but they used plays back then to tell the stories, and these plays were passed down from generation to generation, and that's how they remembered what had happened. They knew to honor this king, this god, because of the play. Greek theater has influenced theater in general greatly. Greek theater was introduced around 600 BC, and from Greek theater we see many of the similarities we see in theater today. The first tragedy was introduced in Greek theater. The first comedy was introduced as well. And a few fun facts about theater. Back in the ancient times, only men were allowed in the theater, and that was according to the AbsoluteShakespeare.com. So, I mean, this went on into the 1500s when Shakespeare was around, but started way back in 2000 BC. Also, many people were hurt because their acting was not acting as we consider it today. It was reliving the story. My own experiences in theater today have not involved any dying because we act. We don't relive those stories. And it's interesting because many times the plays that I've been in, at least, have been completely made-up stories. I've actually been in only a few that were based on real experiences. One of them was a play of plays that talked about the importance of stock characters and how they were invented so long ago in ancient history in the Greek and Roman times, but still, these commedia dell'arte characters still play a big role in theater today. Theater today, just in general, and according to the Integrated Performing Arts Guild, one of the greatest differences in theater today is that it's so modernized, it's so commercialized. It's a big money-making industry. And while actors back in the modern day, or back in the ancient days, were considered to be the scum of the group, they were lowly people, they were lowlifes, they were peasants. We regard celebrities and actors and actresses very highly today. They're often the prissy people. So you see, there's a lot of things that have changed in theater today. The attitudes certainly have changed. But the purpose of theater, to be able to connect to a certain story, still remains the same. I believe Neil Patrick Harris put it best. He showed the importance of theater and how it means a lot to many of us. In his closing rap at the 2011 Oscar Awards, he said, "And in the final analysis, what survives tonight? Theater, because it's what we live. We're changing some lives tonight. And theater thrives because we live it to give it, so to speak. This ain't reality TV. This is 8 shows a week. Every chorus member that you saw tonight tapping had to make miracles happen for a chance to see you clapping and applauding in the audience. So what's next? Who knows? Anything goes. Now go see a Broadway show." This shows that theater is important to a lot of people today. It's changed the lives of many back from 2000 BC to today.